Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tuesday 10 with CadChica Sports. I am your host, CadChica, Sunny Cadwallader, and Tuesday 10 is my weekly show that I just started last month. It's a quick 10-minute chat with leaders and up-and-comers in the world of sports, be it business, social media, marketing, education, digital media, which is where my guest hails from tonight, from the digital media world, but he also specializes in social media as well, because that's how we connected. We connected through Twitter. Welcome my guest, Bob McKamey. Bob, say hello.
Hey everybody, glad to be here.
If you could just tell everybody a little bit about your background with your company Uncommon Thinking, where you came from, and exactly what Uncommon Thinking does.
Sure, I'm the co-founder of Uncommon Thinking. It's an interactive studio here in Chicago, and we primarily work with individual athletes, sports teams, and some individual brands on their design, website development, or social media campaigns. And we've been around since 2002, and we've been involved in the sports segment as soon as we started. Our first 5 projects were for Tiger Woods, Lance Armstrong, Pete Sampras, Natalie Golbus, and Daniela Hantakova, who's a professional tennis player. So it's been a good ride, and hopefully, knock on wood, it continues. So it's definitely been fun.
Definitely. I was reviewing your LinkedIn profile again, because it's not the first time I've looked at it, but I was looking at it, reviewing it again, and it's, if I read it correctly, you got your start with a news service centered around restaurant themes. Can you tell me a little bit more? How did you go from restaurants to sports?
Sure. Actually, it was a project in grad school for a class, and I did it on Planet Hollywood at the time, and the theme restaurants were all the rage. And so I started gathering all this information on theme restaurants, and happened to start a website called themerestaurant.com. And I profiled all of these 80 different themes, like Rainforest Cafe, Hard Rock, All-Star Cafe, you name it. And actually, from that, because I had a website and did the research and did interviews with the people who started those different theme restaurants, I got in touch with a person I used to know. And his dad ran an advertising agency, and they were just getting ready to get into digital and interactive. And so they contacted me, and I came up and interviewed with them here in Chicago, and that's how it kind of all started, that I got into the agency and website business. And from there, it just, the thing with Uncommon Thinking was just a general interest in sports, and combining that with the business or actual work experience with websites and design and development. And my interest really was in sports, so we just, myself and another person who worked at this agency, we contacted some people. We went after Tiger Woods' agent, Pete Sampras' agent,
wow.
Natalie Golbus' agent, and that's how it all kind of fell into place. And after we had 5 of these, we were like, let's just start our own business and let's do this, And so that's how Uncommon Thinking was kind of born in 2002. So.
Wow, that had to be a lot of hard work. I mean, because just because you call them once or contact them once, Tiger Woods people or Natalie Golbus's people, it's not like they're going to say, oh, sure, let's go with these guys. I mean,
right.
There had to be a lot of hard work and effort in order to get them to at least take notice of you before you were even formed, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And it's, some of our clients, like I think I mentioned this to you, it took us 4 years to get Dale Earnhardt Jr. And get his project. It took us 2 to 3 years to get David Beckham's website. It's just staying after people, and if at first they say no to you, if you can just come back to them with useful information, like, hey, I thought you might want to see this. Maybe this could help you with David, even though we didn't work with him at the time. But if you continue to provide people with some useful information, be it example of what they could be doing, or hey, have you heard about this, or hey, great job on what you did do. It just kind of keeps you in their thoughts, and then hey, if something changes where they're looking for a new partner, you'll be top of mind with them. So it does pay off to continue to network with people and kind of really stay after them, if you will.
Right. It's not just the high-profile athletes that you worked with. I mean, you worked with high-profile schools as well, Duke University and Northwestern too. And if you're watching this on Google+, I encourage you to go to look at some of the photos on the events page, because they're just the vibrant colors, just the way it's structured, the way it's organized. I think we've kind of gone back and forth about Duke. Tell me a little bit more about your work with Duke as well, or
Sure.
maybe even some of the unique brands that you've worked with as well.
Yeah, Duke is really interesting because we did Coach John Wooden's website when he was still alive, and the guys from Duke, they originally had a magazine called Blue Planet, and
Hmm.
that's how they got out to all of their big partners and their big time fans and things of the program. And they wanted to take that over to the digital side and start a dedicated program website for it. And they saw Coach Wooden's site, and they got in contact with us, and we went out there and pitched against two or three other firms, and got the project in 2007. And at the time, that was the first dedicated program website for a basketball program. And
Wow.
it started off as a really content-heavy website at the time, 2007, 2008. Social media was just really at the beginning. And then we've done 2 or 3 iterations since then, and it's really transformed from that all traditional content with just top level social media icons and stuff to
Right.
actually having a full social media integration into it, where there's integration throughout the site as well as a dedicated social hub on the other side for BP Social, they call it. So, and I really can't we can take credit for the design of the site, but really the way that those guys do it is all on the recruiting coordinator, Dave Bradley is his name, and he does a great job with providing a unique experience across a lot of different platforms. I think they're number 1 in Instagram, they're number 1 in Facebook, and they're number 2 in Twitter behind North Carolina. So they definitely do a great job across the board on all their social media.
One of the more unique clients, when I was reading your client list, one of the more unique clients, and I don't know how far you in depth you want to go into, but the Orange County Choppers. What did that entail?
Yeah, we actually did their fan club for them when they were at the height of their television show on Discovery, I think it was at the time.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it was a pay-for fan club. So unfortunately, a lot of people didn't, they really couldn't see it. I mean, we really can pass around to our friends because they had to pay like 40 and 95 to be part of
Oh,
the fan club
jeez.
and see it. Yeah. So, but it was a lot of cool stuff because at the time, I don't know if you ever watched it, but like Mikey was kind of the Joker, if you will, of that show. And
Right.
we had a lot of different things with him, his top 10 lists and videos and stuff. So that's one of those things where it's really cool to tell people about it, and that's like you're really glad that you are able to do a project like that because it's just at the time they were so big, and it was just an awesome thing to be a part of.
When I started following you more on Twitter, one of the things that I was kind of paying attention to was not so much the uncommon thinking part, but your own personal website where quite a bit of research, not to a professor type of research, but you really research just beyond the Twitter sports theme. You go and you dig into Pinterest as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about what are you seen on Pinterest with sports teams or athletes? Who's doing it well, if you can remember? What are some common mistakes that you're seeing out there?
Yeah, Pinterest. I think the biggest mistake is people just don't update it. They create it's. I think that like when a new platform comes out, everybody is eager to get in and try it, and they kind of test it. And I think you see the same thing with Google Plus. They test it and they start a page and they do a couple posts, and then they leave it. And then it's like I checked out some drivers on Google Plus to see how they compare with Danica and some other clients, and it's like their last post was over a year and a half ago. And it's the same thing with Pinterest.
Yes.
There's boards, and it's like 2012 draft. I mean, who cares? It's you have to keep updating those types of things, and I think some of the best practices are when you can cross promote social media on your platforms. So on Pinterest, if you have a board that ties in Instagram, or it ties in the videos from YouTube, or it ties in fan tweets, or it ties in fan photos from Instagram and things like that. And the other thing I really have not seen, but I'd like to really highlight it when I do, is the monetization of Pinterest. And I think the Seahawks did a good job. I think they had, if I remember right, Subway, and there was another partner where you could see how they tied in a sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what we're going to see the future of all social media be, is if you can tie in sponsorships that make sense So, for example, like the Seahawks and Subway was about.
Was it a specific Subway sponsored board, or just tied in with the Seahawks Subway contest, or?
Yeah, it was a specific board about just hanging out before the game and like tailgating. It was a tailgating board, and so then what they tried to do is they would tie in, hey, we've got all these great sandwiches and all those types of stuff, and we can provide the food for your tailgate. So, and there's other things. I think the Cardinals and Phoenix, Arizona, they did a good job where they have and this is great built-in content where you have like a photo of the game, so that automatically means you're going to have a built-in content for every single game. And they had a sponsor, I think it was a bank or something down there. But when you can tie in built-in content so that's frequently updated with a sponsor, I think that's the future of a lot of the different platforms like Pinterest and Instagram. You see a lot of those things now too, where it's presented by and stuff. So
I remember.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens and how people really kind of create new things to do with it.
Well, we have gone beyond 10 minutes, but I don't care because I really wanted to talk to you. So I just so the audience out there, I did ask Bob if we could go beyond just the 10 minutes, just a smidge, and he was okay with that because I wanted to hear what his thoughts on the Super Bowl. I'm just going to give you free reign here if you want to talk about the commercials or social media or digital media. I know you had done some studying beforehand what the type of engagement the Broncos and Seahawks were doing, so I'm just giving you free reign here. Go for it.
Yeah, I think, if you follow social media or in general, there's been so many articles about there was a certain number of tweets, there was a certain number of real-time marketing, but some of the things that I thought were interesting was just if you look at the commercials in a broad spectrum, that the Budweiser puppy, to me, that is a typical perfect Super Bowl ad. It's kind of like what I expect. It's huge, it's fun, it's kind of like family oriented.
Pass the Kleenex. I need the Kleenex.
Yeah, I mean, it's so well done, and then the fact that they tied it into the Budweiser puppy Twitter handle. One of the things when I look at the different ads is I think about the shelf life of the campaign. I mean, is it just for the Super Bowl, or can they tie it like a couple weeks later? Because I have to be honest with you, it's only Tuesday, and I've forgotten a lot of them. I know everybody saw a bunch of them before, with the teasers and things. So, but the Budweiser puppy, I told you before, but I have a Dalmatian, and their heritage, their tradition is with the Dalmatian on the beer cart with the Clydesdales. And I thought it would have been perfect if they actually would have used a Dalmatian puppy instead of the one that they do have. I mean, the one they have is Gore. He's like a teddy bear. You just want to hug that little guy.
Right.
But if they used a Dalmatian, they could have tracked him all the way through, and then actually, until he got to his stage on the beer wagon and stuff. So it could have extended the shelf life a little, I think. And I thought the Bud Light one also, where you carry over a concept across multiple commercials, was kind of cool. It's an interesting concept. It costs a lot of money because you have to have 2 or 3 commercials, but the idea of that where it carries over and it kind of leaves you hanging until you see the next one's kind of cool. And obviously,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure. I was just going to say it's interesting too. That you had the other side of it where there's the people who they weren't really ambushing, which we're going to see a lot of in the Olympics coming up. But you look at like a Tide, or I think it was Newcastle, who they didn't actually pay the money to be involved as an official sponsor or commercial, but Tide did a lot of good stuff, creative vines and things throughout the game and tweeting that's what everyone seemed to do this year, was the brand to brand, they called it, tweeting at each other, and there was a lot of funny stuff with that. But just like the Newcastle, where they did the work up front to do a preview, like teaser non-Super Bowl campaign, and they broke it out where they had some of the characters from that, and they did behind the scenes videos with them. And then they also did during the game tweets and things. So it's interesting to see how that all plays out and the different strategies that people have. So and overall the game, I mean, there wasn't really much to talk about. It was over by halftime. So.
Yes, everybody in my neck of the woods is happy. Even the bandwagoners, everybody's just happy. I asked my son today, "Are you going to the parade?" And he just gave me a look like, "Are you serious?" So, anyways, but since I know I've kept you beyond, but since you mentioned the Olympics, is there anything you're looking forward to from a digital media perspective, or that you've already seen from a digital media perspective as we get ready to head into the games?
I mean, I think it's, I've seen some different things like the hub on the USOC sites. I thought they did a good job where they asked people to like wish them well before they all left. I think they had a campaign for that.
Right.
And I think that I don't want to misspoke the brand, but I think it's Verizon, or actually it's AT&T, where they're asking people to shoot a video of yourself. I think it's like you say go USA, go USA,
Oh,
and
okay.
then they're going to put all of those little videos and some tweets and things up on a billboard in Times Square, and they're also
cool.
going to provide it to the athletes, I think, during the game. So I think it'll be cool to see what brands take integrate social media and then like integrate it with during the Olympics, like we had with Nike did it with the player from the Seahawks, where they had the Twitter tape for him. Things like that will be interesting to see, and also, like I mentioned before, the ambush side of it, the non-official sponsors, how are they gonna play up there?
Capitalize, yeah.
Exactly. So
they might just do better than some of the ones that are actually sponsors.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Bob, thank you so much. Can you let everybody know where they can find you on whatever platform you feel like sharing with them?
Sure. You can. I've got like you mentioned before, I've got a site via Tumblr. It's bobmckamey.com, and you'll find just kind of my opinions and research on some social media audits or studies, if you will. And then also you can find me on Twitter at Bob McKamey.
Very good. Thank you, Bob, and thanks everyone for joining, and enjoy National Signing Day tomorrow. Enjoy the Olympics. Enjoy March Madness coming up, and thank you again, Bob. I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks a lot.